Hi, my name is Brittany Allyn, and today I'd like to share a recipe that will make you look like a sandwich superstar. We'll make my ultimate roast beef sandwich au poivre. As you might have guessed, the inspiration for my sandwich was the classic French dish steak au poivre, filet mignon crusted in freshly cracked black pepper and topped with a cognac cream sauce. I love that dish. However, I don't always have a filet mignon budget, and so I came up with this sandwich, and I think you'll find it to be equally indulgent in its own way. Now, instead of filet mignon, I like to use just regular deli roast beef. Now, to me, the perfect sandwich is one where the ratio of filling to bread is equal. If you get too much filling, you go to bite into it, all the filling goes scooting out the other side. That's not the ultimate sandwich. To me, when you bite into it, you should get some of each component in every bite. So for this sandwich, a 1/4 pound is perfect. Now, also to me, the perfect sandwich has to have cheese. My inspiration, steak au poivre, doesn't have cheese, but it has that wonderful cognac cream sauce. And then it hit me. Cognac cheese sauce. What could be better? On the stove, I've got a tablespoon of unsalted butter melted in a saucepan, and to that we'll add 1 tablespoon of minced shallot. And then we'll add 1 clove of garlic that's been slightly smashed, and we're just going to saute this until the veggies are tender. After about 3 minutes of sauteing over medium heat, we're going to remove the clove of garlic because that flavor has been infused into the butter. Now we're going to add some cognac, and here I have a 1/4 cup of cognac. To add the cognac, remove your saucepan from the heat. And now we're just going to let this cook and reduce for about a minute or two. Once the cognac has reduced slightly, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And also a 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Once you start to see bubbles forming on the top and the sides, then it is time to add our cheese. We'll turn off the heat, and we're going to add a 1/4 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And also 1 3/4 cup of freshly grated Havarti cheese. I'm using very mild cheeses here because I just want that cheesy, ooey goodness in the sandwich, but I don't want it to be too strong of a flavor to where the other flavors of the sandwich get masked. And now what we're going to do is just sort of take this and whisk it together. And then we're going to add just a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Once it's nice and smooth, we're just going to sort of let it cool a little bit, because as it cools, it'll start to thicken. And the consistency I'm looking for is sort of that consistency of the cheese that you put over nachos, just nice and melty. Depending on how well your saucepan retains heat, it can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes for the sauce to thicken to the right consistency and still remain warm. And ours is looking perfect. To assemble the sandwich, I like to use ordinary sourdough bread, but I'm going to show you how to make it extraordinary. I like to take just a little bit of mayonnaise and just brush it across the side, one side of each piece of bread. Now we're just going to take some freshly cracked pepper and just sort of coat the bread with it. And you want to be pretty generous because remember, this is au poivre. Then we're going to heat our skillet here over medium heat, and we're going to add the bread to the pan, pepper side down. And then we're going to take our beef and put it on top of the slices, and you want to put 1/2 of it on each slice. Then I like to take a piece of tin foil and just sort of tent the sandwich. And by doing that, it'll toast the bread and the meat will heat nicely. Once the bread is toasted, we're just going to take some of that wonderful cheese sauce and we're going to just spoon it over the top of 1/2 of the sandwich, just like that. And if it starts to sort of ooze over the sides, that's okay. Now to me, a sandwich needs some sort of a pickled element, and for this, I decided to use these wonderful green peppercorns. They're preserved in a brine, and so they're peppery, but yet they sort of have a floral taste to them, and they're nice and salty, and I think they just really pop well in this sandwich. We'll just kind of scatter them across the top. And now we're just going to take our sandwich and turn it over like that, nicely toasted. Put it on our cutting board. And I'm going to get a little extra of that sauce. Just some for dipping. And I think we'll decorate that with a few of these little peppercorns as well. Move this over here so you can see it. And then we're just going to cut our sandwich in half. And now all that's left to do is savor the flavors of the ultimate roast beef sandwich au poivre.